Peace and love. How the hell are you? It's Bondzee. Bondzee Live, Trippin with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Where are we at? I don't know. It's Monday. I had to look for a second. Good save, Bondzee. I thought it was Wednesday for just a hot minute there, and I saved it. But it is Monday. It was a bit of a weekend. I'm not going to lie. We'll get into that in a hot minute, but how the hell are you? You know what I figured out? Because I always used to say, oh, it's Bondzee Live, Trippin with Bondzee, blah, 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 episode, whatever. I was wondering tonight before the show because I was actually well prepared. Didn't have fuck all else to do all weekend as I can't walk. Get into that in a minute again. So I was like, I had everything pretty much prepared and done. So I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Even went over and had a pipe with the neighbor before the show. And he's like, you're never here before the show. You're always freaking out, running around like a maniac with your head cut off. I'm like, I know. Super prepared tonight because when you can't golf, you can't play tennis, you can't run, you can't go to the gym, a lot more free time for preparation. We'll get into that in a minute. What I'll tell you is it's episode 149, I found out today. Crazy. 149. Started as a drunk shenanigans nonsense. I didn't even know we'd do more than a show the very first night. I was so wasted in my parents' basement. Why were you living in your parents' basement, you ask? Because I came home from Nicaragua because of COVID. March 17th is when shit went down in Nicaragua. 5 days later, March 23rd, I was home living in my parents' basement. Never forget it. 4 months of torture. I'm just kidding. I love my parents more than anything, but let's just say nobody really wants to live in their parents' basement at 47 years old. Love them. Really do. But Jesus Christ, that was a trip. Didn't help with that my younger brother lived there, and we'll leave it at that. And it just, I was in quarantine for 14 days. I went from running a bar in Nicaragua and kicking ass and seeing a plethora of people every day, live music twice a day. We had a live band at lunch and at dinner. It was amazing. And I went from frolicking about in Nicaragua and having the greatest time to wah, wah, wah. How's mommy's basement, Gregory? I drank my silly face off. I smoked copious amounts of marijuana, took a bunch of mushrooms, and that's where the show came from. Anyways, 149 later, here we are, and doing pretty good. Living on a bus in California. Funny how things work. You told me a year and 10 months ago I would be living on a bus in California and working for the Dean Blundell Network full-time and blogging and being a co-host and then doing my own show on there and getting killer ratings. I'd be like, something wrong with you, bud? Anyways, here we are. What a year and 10 months it's been. Kaylee, evening to you. Monkey Mocha 11, evening to you as well. He says, looking forward to the combo with Chris. Yeah, Chris and Pat. So, folks, tonight, pull up your socks. Put your big boy pants on. Get a nice cozy hoodie, maybe even a helmet, because this one's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a ruckus. 2, not 1, 2 Afghanistan heroes. These motherfuckers are way bigger and badder, badass than we could ever be. They are. They're my heroes. They're my friends. Proud to call them friends, and I can't wait to talk to the two of them. They haven't spoken in so many years. Depends who you ask. It's about 10, 12 years. We're going to find out. They spent a lot of time together in Afghanistan on the same platoon, different teams. I don't know what that means. I'm going to ask because, pardon my rudeness, but I didn't go to war. I got so many questions for them, and they both have said they're going to be super candid, open, and honest, and it's going to be kick-ass. So buckle up, kids. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from now. The show is brought to you by Positive Mics Brewing in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you need some beer and you're in the area, Positive Mics Brewing's got your back. Sounds like my boy. I can't remember the line. I was trying to say it, but we'll use it. I don't want to bring them, but we'll save it for the end of the show. But folks, you can go get the Positive Mics Brewing t-shirts. Help support a great cause. It's Movember, okay? Fellas are growing these dirty, sick mustaches. Some look great. Others not so much. You can spend $25, get a nice t-shirt, support a great cause, support Positive Mike's Brewing. Guy makes some sick beers, from what I understand. Go support him. $5 from every t-shirt goes to the Movember cause, that is prostate cancer. It's a serious thing, okay? You can't get the beer from them right now, but you can get the gear. There it is, right there. It's my boys in the background. Help me out. Woo! All right, honestly, it's going to be a trip. You guys are going to love this interview coming up, brought to you by Positive Mike's Brewing. Coming up on the show as well, we also have on Wednesday, you guys are going to be blown away by this guy. Now, I could tell you his name a million times. You're going to go, who? What? What the fuck do I want to watch this for? Anyways, this guy is a trip. Met him in 2017 in Nicaragua. He was walking barefoot down the street with a colored mohawk. Just looked like fun. So we started chatting on the street, and I'm like, bud, you're missing some shoes. And he goes, I lost them on my party. And he was shot out of Afghan. He's like, hey, he was with a fine looking lady too. He goes, hey, bud, we're going to dip into this bar right here. We're going to have some fancy margaritas and these other drinks. You want to join us? I was like, sure do. We've been pals ever since. He's done ayahuasca more times than anyone on this planet that I know. He's an ayahuasca expert. For those of you who don't know, we'll get into it more on Wednesday, but you're not going to want to miss this guy. He's an entrepreneur. He's traveled the world. He's got, I don't know where his money comes from, but he's got more money than God. He owns this pub crawl that's worldwide. You're going to love him. You really are. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to him. We have to, and unfortunately, I can't do it live because when I'm live right now, it's like 3 a.m. where he is. So I have to record the interview. I got to get up early. That's tomorrow morning. I got to get up at 8 a.m. Huh. It's gross. Anyways, the guy is a trip. I can't wait for you to meet him. And listen, and Friday. Oh, his name's William J. Barron the Fourth, by the way. William J. Barron the Fourth. Says enough. I literally, he has so many stories to tell me. He's like, Bondzee, you couldn't have hit me up at a better time. This guy's got more shit going on than you could ever imagine. Anyways, that's coming up Wednesday. Friday, my boy Reggie's back. What a trip this guy is. He has been so enamored by his 3 appearances on Bondzee Live already, and his what we call story time with Reggie. And he's told some sick stories. He's told about his sister getting murdered by 21 years old. By a thug she just met 4 or 5 days previous. He also told about shooting his first 2 perps, killed one, the other one survived. Shot and killed another dude. That's coming up Friday, part 4 with Reggie. And huge news. Reggie just texted me. I've been helping him out. We've been in contact the last 4 or 5 days. There's my boy right there. Reggie is starting his own podcast. It's called Reggie 911. Let's talk about it. You guys are going to love this. You think he's been open and honest on my show? Wait till he gets his own. This guy is going off to the races. He's going to get everybody and anybody that he's known over 28 years in the police service in the Los Angeles area. The stories that he has over 28 years will blow your mind. Some of them that he's told here has already been epic. I've been super proud to help him out. I was able to spend about $2,800 of Reggie's money in the past few days. He's like, fuck, Bondzee, Jesus Christ. I'm like, well, listen, you got the best shit. You won't have to upgrade anything. We got him the best MacBook Pro going with the hugest memory. We got him the Shure microphone MV7 that I'm using. Can't promote the ones that they use on the Dean Blundell Network because I don't have one. Everybody else does, but I don't. So fuck them. So it's a Shure microphone that I got him. MV7's killer microphone. You should have one too if you're thinking about podcasting or anything like that. Anyways, got him all set up. He's got the boom mic. He's got the mic. He's got the got a fancy ass camera. He's not even using the MacBook Pro camera, which doesn't suck. Anyways, you guys are gonna love it. It's a Reggie 911. He'll be on the show Friday. Oh, what a weekend. Bondzee's miserable, by the way. Just gonna let you know. 5 days now. Count them. 5. I don't sit around well, as most of you know. ADHD out the ass. Woke up 5 days ago. Couldn't put any pressure on my left foot. I'm like, Man, that was a pretty aggressive tennis match yesterday with that wall, Bondzee. Turns out it was because 5 days later, I still can't walk on my left foot. So I'm a stubborn prick. Okay, every guy is. So don't sit there and yell at me and be all condescending and stuff and say, "No, you ain't go to the hospital." So I fucking want to go to the hospital. I fucking hate those places, especially COVID era shit. I don't want to go. Talked to a doctor friend today, Dr. Mario. Big, he had an amazing appearance on the Dean Blundell show this afternoon. I highly recommend you go check that out. Anyways, I messaged Dr. Mario. I was like, dude, I got this issue on my foot. Won't go away. It's been 5 days. I think I rolled it on the tennis court in an aggressive match with the wall. Anyways, he said I could have either like a spiral fracture, which you wouldn't have known about right away, and excuse me, or it could be an infection of some sort. And if it's an infection, which I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but the pain and the swelling is moving up the foot, and it's not feeling good. So I'm either out of here tonight, right after the show, but I can't even go first thing in the morning because I got the interview at 8 a.m. I got to interview ayahuasca Charlie here, he lives in, I want to say Budapest. I'm not even sure. I forget. I don't have the best memory. But anyways, it's a conundrum. I don't want to go, but I am sick and fucking tired of not being able to walk on my foot. What about physio for the foot? Mike says, I don't even think there's a fucking physio because I can't even touch it. Can't even move it. My dad's like, son, every time I've got some sort of pain, I just stretch it out. And you're like, Bondzee, how come your dad doesn't have a British accent when you talk? Well, you were talking about your mum. She's got this accent and she's always yelling at you and saying Gregory Scott, smart in the fuck up. Mom said the F word. I've never heard her say the F word. But my dad worked in a factory for 30 years. My mom didn't. She stayed at home and raised 3 hooligans. I'm being polite. Anyways, my dad doesn't have he's got a tiny, tiny bit of a British accent. Anyways, he's like, just stretch it, son. Just stretch it. It'll be fine. I'm like, Dad, I can't fucking move the thing. Let alone stretch it. Stretch it. And Buddy's like, go to physio. How about a fucking doctor first and an x-ray to make sure we don't do something crazy? You know what I'm saying? Gwendolyn says, Bondzee, you need to see a doctor, man. That sounds like an infection if it's moving up. Yeah, I know. 5 days is enough. I'm finally throwing in the man towel and I'm going to go, okay? It's enough. Stop yelling at me. You guys aren't even my real parents. Shit. Anyways, and I know I sound like a crybaby, and that's why I don't even like talking about it, and that's why I don't go. I'm a tough guy. It'll go away. It'll just go away, right? Not so much. And I don't like sitting around on a bus doing fuck all the entire weekend. Though I did get some serious sick blogs out. One of them, best blog on the Dean Blundell Network over the entire weekend. I lost my shit on those 2 losers, thugs, owned Milton's restaurant. I used owned in past tense because guess what? Shut down. It's not because of my blog or because I lost my shit on them Friday night. It was just bound to happen. Those guys mistreated a poor fellow with Asperger's with a service dog, and they deserved everything they got. Anyways, losers, bye-bye your restaurant, and goodbye, God bless. You won't be missed. You might even be going to prison. We'll see. All right, folks, enough about my foot, enough about those losers. Without further ado, I can't believe the 2 people I'm about to bring on here. These 2, I don't want to ever meet them in a back alley if I wrong them somewhere along the line. These 2 could kill you, and me too, all at the same time with their bare hands. That's true. These guys both got deployed to Afghanistan, 2009. They were on the same platoon, different teams. I'm going to ask questions. I don't know what that means. But without further ado, folks, I would like to introduce you to my best friend in the entire world. I grew up with him since we were about 4 years old, causing shenanigans. Patty Moulden. How the hell are you? And my boy, Army Chris. Guys, fuck. Thank you so much.
That dude right there is a fucking war hero, man. Right there, legit war hero.
What's going on, bro?
Fuck, brother. It's been a fucking minute, man.
Wow, look at you. How are you?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, still above ground, man. You know,
You're looking good.
Getting there.
Where are you living?
I'm in Hamilton, back in Hamilton now.
Okay, you can go to the Grey Cup.
What?
You can go to the Grey Cup.
Yeah, no, not so much.
Fuck, it's good to see you.
Play our high school football games there at Everwood Stadium, though. It's all they tore it down and they rebuilt the whole thing, though.
Wow.
Are you in Edmonton still?
Still in Edmonton, brother. You bet.
It's amazing, folks, because, and that's why I kind of sat back for a second here, is these two got deployed to Afghanistan. I'll tell everybody the quick story. And welcome to Bondzee Live on Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Guys, I can't thank you enough for this.
Thank you.
Let's jump right into it, man. You guys are unbelievable. You got deployed to Afghanistan together in 2009. You were on this, so I don't know how this how it all works. You're on the same platoon, but different teams. Now there's team 1, 2, and 3, from what I understand. And Chris, if I may, before you guys answer, you sent me a picture yesterday that blew my mind, and not only my mind, but it blew Pat's mind, because Pat had never seen it before, and it was a picture. And so how did that come to be? You said your old boss was in possession of it, and I sent it to Pat, and basically what it was a flag, and it labeled the 3 teams, and it had all the soldiers' names. It's pretty special.
Yeah. So that flag, Pat was at Massamgar.
Oh yeah.
Right. And what was happening was, as the Chinook was coming in, this is not a dramatic story, and blew it off. And Dave Crossan, who was our squadron sergeant major, and there was actually 5 teams, fucking ran out to the wire. It was stuck in the wire or whatever. He grabbed it, and that's it. So he brought it back to CAF, and he had, the local fucking yokel make up the whole thing. But I had never seen that thing before till yesterday, because I was trying to remember which team you were on.
What?
And he sent me that picture. Like, I thought it was Team 4. I said, he's pretty sure he was on 4. And and fucking Dave sent me a picture of that. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that?
Where is it now? In his house or something?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's got 2 of them. He's got 2 made. One's supposed to go to our OC, and one's supposed to go hang in one CR. Well, guess what? They're still in his fucking house.
Wow.
You know what I got when I left was we did a call one time where the guy was digging in the road with an old Russian bayonet that was fixed for the end of the rifle.
Wow.
And they had an F-14 that was just on station, fly by and strafe him with some small arms, and like just took him apart completely. And his shit, his body, and everything was scattered all over the place. We went in and cleared it out, and I submitted that for evidence. And I kept asking them about it because I really wanted it. And so then when I went back into CAF, they gave it to me, let me take it home. I was fucking stoked.
Oh, you did get it. That's fucking cool. Like, I don't have any cool trophies, man. Well, actually, we have one. Well, I don't want to get carried away. We'll eat up all of Bondzee's time.
Right.
We got the first DFFCC. We pulled out of that tree, and we have the whole fucking thing sit also behind Dave's bar.
Right on.
So Dave's got all the shit. I have nothing.
Wow. Well, so here it is. I put it up, but you were talking, Pat. So Chris, you were in the Black Squadron part there. First name at the top. TEWO Dlouhy KS. I don't know what the hell that means, but and then Patty, you're in the green. You are the 3rd name down in the left column in the green, and it says EODOPLS Moulden P. That's what does that flag mean to you guys? And is that pretty special right there, seeing that? And that was the 3 teams when you guys were deployed. Is those guys on the names on that flag or whatever it is pretty special, or what?
For me, yeah, man. I mean, I was zooming in on that and looking at it for like hours, trying to remember all the names and who was who and who was where and all that shit. So brought back some memories, because I'd never seen that flag before.
Patty, for you?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, it's a huge commitment of your life, Bondo. Like it's not only the tour. You have to understand, like you train to go over there for about 7 or 8 months just to get worked up to go over there for your 7 or 8 months tour. So you're with these people for a long time, you know, and for me, like I wasn't posted in Edmonton, so I was attached posted from Victoria. So I was completely out of my element there and dug in with these guys. And it becomes like family, really. Like it really does that, especially when you're over there and you're operating and you're trusting these guys to have your back, you know. And I mean, it's a fucking dog show out there, right? So you form some really strong relationships with these guys. And so seeing their names all in one place like that with the team, you know, it really strikes a chord for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So can you break down the teams thing? So, well, actually, before we get to this, I'll get back to that. This is pretty wild how this all came together. So, Patty, obviously, it's no secret. You've been on the show a couple times. You've been so candid and open and honest here. And I just met Army Chris, and Chris knows it. We've never met physically, but we did. We started speaking on the phone through Lachlan Cross, who works for 95.7 FM. Cruise FM in Edmonton, Alberta, and you're a big friend of Lachlan's, and I was supposed to fly up to Edmonton to see Our Lady Peace with you guys from Cali. Anyways, a long story short, it didn't turn out, but I was going to be staying at your house. So we kind of got speaking and stuff, and I got to learn a little bit about you through Lachlan, and then just hearing some of your stories, you're like, yeah, I was employed to Afghanistan and deployed in 09. And I'm like, hold on a second. My boy Patty Moe is 09. So I fucking text Patty and I was like, do you know Army Chris? He goes, dude, Army Chris could be a million dudes. Send me a picture. I sent him a picture and he's like, okay, how in the holy hell do you know this guy? Where did you meet him? And that dude, it's amazing. Both of you have
that's what I said.
Things to say about
when you go. Like people go, oh, do you know this guy in the Army? Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I was just chirping. I just said game, recognized game, man. You know, like you get excited when you hear a third party connection like that. Like, fuck, I know that dude.
That's exactly what I fucking said, because he goes, do you know Pat Moulden? I'm like, fuck yeah, man. We were in squad together. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's fucking 3,800 guys over there at any given time. Like everybody goes, dude, do you know Bob? I'm like, oh yeah, no. But when you said, you know Pat Moulden, I'm like, fuck yeah, I know Pat Moulden. You bet your ass I know Pat.
Isn't that wild? It's
fucking crazy. It's crazy.
And Chris and Pat, everything happens for a reason. And I was meant to come in contact with you, Chris. I really was, because now walk me through this. For some reason, you guys haven't really seen each other since post-war. And I think there was one, maybe two instances a long time ago since you've seen each other. How come? And is it just part of the game? Like, because there is so many of you, or
so I wasn't even in the Army, Greg. I was a Navy specialist. Okay, so I was a bomb disposal technician, and I was a clearance diver in the Navy. Totally different element. I was posted on the West Coast in Victoria, Vancouver Island, and so I deployed with Chris's unit, who was based out of Edmonton, and so I had to do all of my training there. So really, my tour away from my family was twice as long as everybody else's, because they did we did our pre-deployment training. They just got to go home at the end of the day. I was living in the barracks, so that's how it came out. So literally, like when we flew back from Kandahar, the plane landed on the tarmac. I got off the plane. Everybody went running out to their families. I got off the plane, got into a car, went over to the other side of the airport, the civilian side of the airport. Got on a civilian plane and flew to Victoria. It's like, see you later, by myself. All these guys are like, big parade and all this shit is happening, and I'm like, all right, see ya. So it was kind of surreal. Like it was like I was like, whoa, I got a big chunk in my throat. You know what I mean? Like I was like, holy fuck, man, I'm not gonna see these guys again for a long time, maybe ever. And then that's just how it works out, right?
Well, and sadly, you didn't see a lot of them again. Because I think the last time you guys saw each other, and I know it's tough talking about this for you guys sometimes, and I'm sorry, but you met at a funeral, because it's got to fucking piss you off, because you guys lost more friends and platoon members since being home than you did at actual war. So it's a two-part question. That's got to upset you and bother you, yes. And then how was it seeing each other at that funeral where Pat, you said, and you made mention of this, you were in your in the Navy, and the guy that you buried and you were the pallbearer for, he was an Army guy, but he was one of your type bros. That had to be a pretty wild experience, yeah?
Oh, to be honest, yeah, it was like I don't remember much of it because it was so devastating, you know, like the circumstances around his death were a little bit strange as well.
Very strange.
He just washed up in the Saskatchewan River, you know, a few days missing, and
I remember that story, Pat. We were talking about it personally. So yeah,
he was training for Mountain Man.
He was training for Mountain Man, yeah. So I mean, who knows what happened, how he ended up, but yeah, I was the only blue uniform in a sea of green at that funeral, man. And holy shit, did I ever stand out? Because the number one dress uniforms, like Navy, we wear this peak cap. It's like this gay fucking white thing, you know. And, the Army guys
you
all
look
wear
like fucking Captain Stubing from the Love Boat.
So I got this big fucking douchebag hat on in a blue uniform, sea of green. I'm like, holy shit, it was fun. Yeah. But
I think I saw you once before that though, because we came out for McNeish's posting party.
That's right. Yeah, you did.
Right when Sandy was getting posted Ottawa, me and Crossan came out. We went to Esquire Mall, went to the EOD barn, and went to the pirate mess on the cool side of the harbor.
Yeah.
You showed up. You had your tight little Top Gun shorts on. You were just doing PT and shit, looking all fucking sexy. That's what I remember.
Your boy Matt Blenkow says, "Rest in peace, Rich." That's pretty cool that all these military guys are watching. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And honestly, it is a pleasure to have you guys on, and just seeing the smiles on your face and the reminiscing and the camaraderie is amazing. So, and I know we'll get back to this whole Team 1, Team 2, Team 3 thing, and you're on the same platoon. Where do you guys actually meet? Is it's in the training before you even get there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we Task Force 309 Counter ID Squadron stood up. Well, fuck, I got there in like August 2008. Pat, when did we all get together the first time though? It wasn't much longer after that.
I showed up a little bit late because they replaced a guy. I wasn't the original diver that was supposed to go on that tour, but the original guy, he pulled the pin after the first set of pre-deployment.
Oh, and then he started his own fucking bullshit TV show.
Yeah.
That guy.
He basically
didn't have the ball. He didn't have the parts to go to Afghanistan, but he had the parts to become this war hero doing fucking range clearance in Gagetown and make his own TV show. Not shitting on the guy at all.
But that was potentially going to look really bad for the dive unit, right? Because we had a position to fill. We had to fill it. So, and I had put in a request way earlier to do it. As soon as I got my IED certification as an operator, I was like, fuck it. I didn't do this for nothing, right? I want to get in there and help out. So when the coxswain came to me and he said, "We need you to leave, and can you leave tomorrow?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I ran around the base, got whatever shit I needed, and took off. And for that section of pre-deployment training, I think it was just a few weeks, and then I got to go home and my wife had already left.
So that would have been October-ish 2008.
Yeah.
And then we did a bunch of shit together, and then it was Christmas leave, came back, did Chilliwack. And we were all over the fucking world. I did courses in the UK, the United States. Did you go do LVBIED and all that crap in Vegas?
No,
did you go down? What about Florida? Nothing down there.
Oh, yeah,
anyway, we
Florida.
had.
I did Florida. That was actually pretty good time. It was 7 months down in Destin, Florida. It was like, but it was a lot of memory. Like we had to study and learn all of the NATO ordnance, right? You have to learn all of their safeties and this. Fucking man, it's just memory. But it was a good time.
Yeah, learn all the ordnance just so you could go to Afghanistan and deal with fucking yellow jugs because it's not in the 60 series.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, how much fucking C4 are we gonna use on this? I don't know. $2.
Good to go.
So you guys are leading up to this. You're doing all this training. Yeah. And you got deployed in 03-09, so March of 09. That Christmas, if I may ask, do you all get to go home and see your families, knowing that you're doing all this training, and that's potentially could be the last Christmas you could ever have? Thank God it wasn't for you two. But was that a weird time for you both? Did it ever cross your mind?
I'll let Pat. Was that your first tour coming up, right?
Well, that was my first Army tour. I had done a couple tours in the Navy, in the Persian Gulf, just on a ship, but it was nothing compared.
Yeah, but I mean, your first fucking combat bomb suit wearing tour, right?
No, yeah, my first operation. Well, you know what I mean, like where I was in danger, like a lot of danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you speak to that question, because for me this is my fourth fucking tour. It was, whatever, right? But I don't know. Go ahead, man. I'll just stop talking.
So I mean, I honestly, Bondo, I when I got there, I tuned out the rest of the world. It was like nothing else existed. I didn't even like think about home or the season or the fucking holiday or whatever it was. Even though we were so outside of the wire for most of the tour that we didn't even have the luxuries of Kandahar Airfield, which you have like sea containers to sleep in with air conditioning and cooked food and a gym and a fucking band, and there's like a Tim Hortons, and it's like a little bitty Hollywood, little Kandahar Airfield. I mean, it had been running for 9-10 years up until that point, so they had just getting it better and better every year. So it was pretty comfortable. Like, you did a calf tour, you were not really like in danger or uncomfortable at all. Like, you had a shower every night, you had fresh food, laundry, like it was fucking pretty sweet. So I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought there. What was I talking?
Christmas.
Bro.
Oh yeah. So honestly, like I had my situational awareness was like one day at a time. I didn't really care about fucking Christmas presents, or I mean, even though we got a lot of stuff from like Boy Scouts and different schools, they would send just random packages for a soldier, and there was all kinds of candy and treats and shortbread and shit all over the place, but I mean, where we were, it was just more important for me to stay focused on what I was doing one day at a time and not get carried away with, expectations or missing the world at all. The world didn't exist to me when I was there. It really didn't.
Yeah. So everybody understands what Pat's role over there was. Pat is an explosive ordnance disposal operator. So he's the guy within the team. There's two of them that puts on that Med-N GOD9 bomb suit until the NEQ is greater than never mind, and fucking actually goes down range and dismantles that device after remote means, and our robot can no longer do anything. So at the end of the day, there's a good picture. That's Yves actually. That's what would have been Pat would have been wearing. That helmet sucked, Pat. So you know what I'm talking about when you see that picture. That's what it looks like. He goes down. He's got a MIMID fucking metal detector, mine detector. That's a Med-N GOD9 bomb suit. And that is, I believe, 2 18-liter yellow jugs, which I'm pretty confident were full of ammonium nitrate aluminum powder. And how many calls did you do, Pat? Roughly?
157 or something like that? Does that sound about right?
Fucking crazy enough. Yeah, you're in around there. We all did some shit like that. Yep. So that guy fucking went and did that for 7 months straight, every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, did what's called the lonely walk. He goes down by himself and fucking took bombs apart for 7 fucking months in the interest, that's me with the smoke, of protecting his team, the guys that work with him, Afghan National Security Forces, and the local citizens of the country there. So fucking that Pat Moulden is a fucking hero right there. That dude.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
A goddamn good looking man too.
He is too. And then you say smoke. I think every picture you sent me, Chris, of you've got a smoke in your mouth or
that was a bad day, man. I don't even want to get into it. Why I'm covered in shit.
That's fine. It looks like a fucking bad day. I mean, yeah. We'll leave it at that. Man. So okay, let's get back into this here and get back on track. So do you guys, when you get there, you're on different teams? So does Chris, you're on team 1.
Yeah.
Pat, are you out in the field as team 3? On a night mission while team 1's getting some fucking sleep?
No. So all of our teams,
how does that work?
All of our teams, we had a huge fucking area to cover. Like, so Canada Canada's area of operations was Kandahar province. So my team 1 was in the city. Teams 2 through 4 were scattered throughout different parts of where the battle group was in the province. I wish we had a map of Afghanistan up. Right? So there's no relief. Your team is assigned to an area of operations, and that's where you work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And thanks for. So these teams are sometimes you're close together or not really. And how often did you guys actually see each other in the entire tour?
I didn't see Pat's team fuck the whole tour. I don't think
ever. I didn't see another team at all. We operated completely independently, and we're assets, right?
So were you in communication with those guys, Pat?
I'm sorry.
I saw team 2, like Duran's team, in passing. That was it.
Wow.
Well,
but are you guys always in communication? Is what I was asking, Pat.
Not really.
No way. Wow.
No, there's too much shit going on, right? Like you're so busy. Your team's assigned to that area, and that's who you focus on, the guys you're supporting. And the only guys we're in touch with, okay, look at that. You found a map. So Pat was to the bottom left of Kansas City. Is Dan down there? Where the fuck? I'm blind, so I got to move my head most close to the monitor to see this. Kabul. So if you go down, where the fuck is Kandahar? Is at the bottom. Okay,
yeah.
So that area that says Kandahar, everything southwest of there was us. So I was in the city, and then the other 4 teams were rotating around different areas depending on how the battle space flexed and moved.
What was it like there, boys? And you're in different parts. When you were there, did you trust anybody? And by that, I mean, I've seen a bunch of pictures with you and kids, Pat, over because I've known you so long. You've shared some pretty special shit with me. But even today, Chris, you shared a picture with me. And you actually just added your own caption to it. But
yeah,
you ran into this kid, and when you were walking away, the motherfucker was giving you the finger. Like, it's a little disrespectful, no?
Yeah, I
thought I had it up here. I don't see it now, though. Sorry.
That's fine.
Do you trust anybody? Or did you trust the kids? Or
no.
It's horrible to say, maybe, but who knows if those motherfuckers are strapped too, right?
There was a saying that you cannot buy an Afghan, but you can rent them for a little while. It's true, man. Like, you were not in a position. Understanding we were there to help those people stabilize their country and manage the fucking problems. At the end of the day, you're not in a position where you can afford to trust them because there's too much risk involved. It's easier to help them and not trust them than run that risk. And then it's fuck. I could go on for hours about that. So the short answer,
even when you guys were taking pictures with them, was there any trepidation, or were you fucking scared and always on alert, like head on a swivel?
Yeah. So you understand, every time that we go out and do our thing, no matter which team it was, they are always watching us. And the Taliban, the bad guys, are fucking, once we're done and leaving, the Taliban will come in and bully them, saying, you'll give us information and provide us, so we're going to come back here in the nighttime when these ISAF assholes go back to their fucking fob and fucking kill you. So it's not, I don't resent them for my distrust of them. It's more of they don't have a choice. If the Taliban comes in when we're gone and says, either do this or we'll fucking kill your family, of course they're going to do that. So I don't blame them for that, but that drives the mistrust piece that I'm speaking to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, Pat, you've been on here so many times and told so many crazy stories, and you've been so open and honest. Chris, you wanted to come on here tonight. I was so stoked to have you both. Is there a story, Chris, that because you said buckle up on Twitter today, folks? I'll drop a heavy Army story. Do you want to share one with us that might blow our minds and that you're comfortable sharing at least?
Yeah, I want to kind of try to stay positive, I guess. There was a time in March of 2010. We'll call it the night of nights. So the funny part is it was this crazy intelligence major. And I know my ex-wife's watching right now, so she can speak to this because she was intelligence at the time. And this fucking guy, every week or month, he would come in and come to me and say, they're planning something really big. It's going to happen. I'd be like, well, fuck, if you say that enough, sooner or later. So anyways, like he was a fucking weird dude, man. He was like a caricature. And well, yeah, he was right. So sometime in March, the Kandahar city, which is where I was out of, which is a fucking shit show to work in, just starts fucking blowing up. The bad guys blew up what they were trying to do was break into Sarposa prison. There's when we don't have time to take it apart. They were trying to break guys out of Sarposa prison, so they wanted to create some distraction. So they blew up the police headquarters. Tactically a smart move, and fucking like a whole shit. By the time we got up there, there was Afghan National Police, like 13 bodies fucking laid out. Civilians across the street were all blown to fucking shit. And we're like, holy fuck. And I remember my boss, Major Chris Cotton, was visiting us. And he's like, can I come out on this? I'm like, no, man, you better fucking stay back. That's me working with Americans. I figured you might have American viewers to show that we do work together. Yeah. So
right on.
Then on our way, like there's nothing we could do. We're driving through the city, and this actually ties into the distrust piece. Okay. I don't know what the population of Kandahar City is, but it's fucking a lot of people. And normally if you roll through that city in the dark, you'll see people out on the streets. The markets are full, guys roasting nuts and shit like that. Well, that night, the fucking city was empty, man. Like it was fucking creepy. We're rolling through that and nobody's outside. And all you can hear is gunfire and explosions and shit as we're going from A to B. The radio's going off saying, okay, go to police headquarters. It got blown up. Then the auxiliary police headquarters got blown up. And then as we were driving to Kandahar City, as we were driving through Kandahar City to Sarposa prison, which housed all the Taliban bad guys, it got blown up. And I remember as we're rolling in there, the guards in the tower started shooting at us as we were coming in. So we're taking fire. And then I'm on the fucking radio, but they have to relay it back to who I'm talking to some other guys. So it took a while for them to stop shooting at us. And we got there, and I walk up to the big iron doors, just like you see in the movies on a prison, right? And it's all fucked up because it was half blown in. We open it up, and luckily we had a group of infantry guys inside the prison that were working with the prison guards. So as I opened the door, there's a 25 millimeter barrel pointed right at my head from a fucking big Canadian light armored vehicle. And my buddy J-Dub, who I'd worked with, he's in there. His face is all black. His fucking beak's on sideways like Daffy Duck. And it was like, holy fuck, dude. Yeah, so that was a fucking crazy night. So that tells you, the locals there, they know shit that it's happening. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
And, it was fucking insane. We were just driving on like madmen all night as the whole city was just lighting up. So
unreal.
It's a longer story, but I don't want to fucking hog the air. So
yeah, no, and thanks for sharing that with us. Patty, you've shared some pretty heavy stuff with us on this show. Is it, and we've got a lot of new fans that are listening, that I'm on the Dean Blundell Network. Is there a story that you want to share that you've already shared, or is there a new one that you want to share that's the craziest experience of your life over there? Where are we at?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I guess
Well,
I guess the first one, the most shocking thing that ever happened to me in my entire life was finding you know, a secondary device, like where they had dug one into the ground. 9 times out of 10 there was two to target us as a first responder, right? Get everybody to come in, and then have another one within a few feet or 10 feet or whatever close to it, right? So it got to the point where you would have your intelligence, and they would tell you like where the wire was or whatever it was that you were honing in on to see. But as you would be going downrange to approach it, you'd already be looking for your secondary device. Like starting thinking like same bomber in this area, and this is kind of like how he works. You know what I mean? So if I was him, I would put it here, right? And then chances are it's pretty close to where you start thinking like these fucking right. And devious little ways, to target people walking or target people in a vehicle, with a projection device. And yeah, so I found a secondary this one time, and I was uncovering it, delineating all around it to expose all the components and stuff like that. And then when I got to the main charge and unearthed it, there was this dead baby that was attached to it, and it was all tied up, and I was like, definitely not ready for that. Like I think that moment in time, I could really say like where my whole life changed. You know what I mean? Like there was that pause that I don't even think I was breathing. Like I was not ready. I mean, how could anybody be ready to see that? I was definitely, definitely broke my heart seeing that, and then having to, cut the fucking tape off and dismantle this improvised explosive device that had nothing to do with this child. Obviously, the child was just there to distract the bomb disposal guy, right? And they're fucking savage. They don't care. 9 out of 10 babies that are born there die. So there's little makeshift graveyards everywhere with just piles of rocks, and it's like a small pile of rocks. You know that it's another baby. They don't have doctors. They don't have healthcare. They don't have anything, right? And I mean, delivering a child is a complicated fucking thing, right? To get it from the stomach to the, breathing air, and lots can go wrong, and the simplest thing goes wrong, and the mother and the child both die, right? So there's like dead babies everywhere, graves and stuff like that. And so the one that was used to target their infidel and target the heart, they're smart, they're a cunning enemy. They knew what to do and how to affect us greatly, mostly. And like that moment in time fucking changed my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I can't even articulate, what overcame me at that time, and I didn't even know what the fuck to do or like, and I dream about that. I dream about her. She, it was a female baby, and I think like, what she would look like today, or like what, just fucking stuff like that when your mind wanders. But I mean the impact of that was devastating.
Yeah. Sure. Guys, I can't thank you enough for sharing the story. So, and that leads me right into the next part of this is the trauma that you guys have experienced and how you deal with it moving forward. And you're both retired from service now, and I mean the comments have been awesome. Everybody loves you guys, and we all thank you for your service. So you're moving on, Pat, and obviously I've known you since a child, and I've known every last piece of shit you've been through. You just did this huge documentary recently, Pat, called the Final Frontier. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the notes here because I'm a bit skipped ahead, but it has over 1 million views on YouTube, dude.
Wow,
I still got to watch that, man.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet, Chris? It's fascinating. It's called.
You sent me the link. I got to fucking watch it.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking for it here. Give me 1 second. Shit. I had the link for it and everything. I was going to put it up. And I'll find it. It'll come to me. But Pat, filming that, it had to be a pretty huge decision for you. Was it a huge decision for you and your family? Was it just you that said, "Fuck Bondo, I got to do this," and I'm in with all both feet, 10 toes?
Yeah, well, it's my one of my best buddies who was doing it, right. He studied in Africa, a shaman, and Iboga bark medicine in North America. So he's been over there like 7 or 8 times. He's done the whole initiation process. He's been gifted the right to be a shaman here in North America and bring this bark to North America, and it's just fucking amazing. I don't really know what else
is
to
it
say.
Iboga, Pat, that you took?
Yeah, Iboga root bark. So
yeah,
it's a root bark of this plant that grows only in Goban, Africa, and it has like crazy medicinal powers. It's like a hallucinogen. It's somewhat of a, like, I can only really relate it to like a mushroom type, like magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like, but again, not really at all. It's like more of a focused, guided, really deep, like, look at yourself, and it's guided by this shaman, your whole experience, and man, you learn a lot. You really see yourself from a different perspective, and what you want and what you don't want, what you want to change, and it just gives you like an opportunity to sort of push a reset button on your life and be like, okay, like, I didn't like how that looked. I don't want to do that anymore, or like I should be more this way. Like, it's more of like a guidance thing, like it's not like a miracle. It's not like it doesn't relieve you of your compulsion to drink or use or whatever your addictive thing is, but it gives you that look. It gives you the ability to step outside yourself and reevaluate why you're doing it, and look and go back to the root cause of the trauma that's caused it, because there's trauma behind every addiction. You know what I mean? Like, there's no addict out there that is doing it just because they want to do it. You know what I mean? Everybody who's an addict has some sort of attached to it, and so it's tapping into that trauma and allowing you to see it, process it, and then fucking let it go, man, instead of carrying it around like a fucking disease for your whole life. And then you have to have this crutch to drink or to whatever your substance is to keep up with that, So it really sort of provides more of like a spiritual guided process rather than like an instant relief of your obsession. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Patty, the show and everybody out there, because I found it, it's called The Psychedelic Frontier. It was put on by City TV, actually did it. That's where it aired originally. Now on YouTube, dude, no joke. It has 1 million views, Patty.
That's fucking awesome, man.
This documentary is it's fucking heavy, bro. And you really put yourself out there. We've talked privately. You know how fucking proud I am of you, dude, and how much I love you. That was pretty wild stuff, and I encourage everybody to go check it out. I hope you're doing better, Pat. Are you still keeping up with that shaman? And is this something that with this Iboga you continue to do once in a while, or how does that work?
There's no prescription for it. It's like it can be for some people like a one-time's all that is required, sort of for more like long-term heavy addicts, like opiate users and stuff like that. I mean, I don't really want to speak for it because I don't really have all the answers. I just know from being around Mark, who's like a really good friend of mine and who facilitates it, from listening to him and his expertise and stuff. So, like some people go back regularly and just the whole purifying experience of it. They're not necessarily trying to get rid of an obsession or an addiction. They're just going for the process of it, like a journey, right?
Yeah.
tap you back into your real true state of being and your purpose. It helps you to realign with that. You know what I mean? Like, because there's lots of distractions in life, and drugs, and alcohol, and mind-altering substances are one of them. You know what I mean? All kinds of other fucking things that you can latch onto that deviate you from your course, right? And are not necessarily to achieving your goal. So it's I mean, the people in Goban, the Bouidi tribe, they use it on a sort of like a regular basis. They use it for spiritual guidance for their hunts. They they rub it on the gums of their babies. You know what I mean? Like it's like in abundance down there, and it's part of their everyday life. You know, so it's not like, I mean, it's more of like a heavy hitting experience here, because it's not something that we're used to or really have ever done before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's the links in the bio for the show. We just posted it right there. Chris, have you ever done anything like that? Have you done ayahuasca or ayaboga like Pat has?
Fucking cowabunga. I can't even spell that shit, man. No, I do mushrooms. I just discovered those last year, and I fucking think they're great.
Really? And so if I may ask, because I found the opposite in 2009 when I went through my traumatic shit with watching a guy get hit and killed by a train. I haven't been able to do mushrooms since.
Yeah, so that's probably not when you fucking should do mushrooms, man.
So how come, why are you able to do mushrooms with all the shit you've seen in 4 tours that it doesn't fuck you up in the way that if I take mushrooms, it messes me up?
So here's what I know about them, since we're going that direction. I've only done them a few times. And the first thing I was told, and for everybody watching that does mushrooms, you can attest to this. Make sure you're in a comfortable space, which is my house, because I don't leave my house a lot. I don't like crowds. I don't like fucking people. I spend a lot of time at home. I spend most of my time with a small group of current serving military guys or ex-military guys who like to ride motorcycles. Outside of that, I don't go out much. So be with a group of people you like and be in a positive space. If you're in a negative fucking space, it's going to end up really, really bad. So it's the first and only psychedelic I've ever done. I smoke a little weed from time to time, drink a lot of fucking beer, and chain smoke cigarettes. But outside of that, all I know is make sure you're in a good frame of mind. You shouldn't be doing psychedelic shit, well, mushrooms anyway, and I'm not an expert, if you're in a negative space. So that's probably why you had a bad fucking go.
Oh, I've had a few bad goes on the shroomies. But it's funny because I've done ayahuasca twice. And I listen, I had a bad experience one of the times, but what did happen, which I thought would happen, and Pat can attest to this, I've told him, is I was and Patty, do you remember me telling you I was going to do ayahuasca for the first time, and you're like, where the fuck are you? Pin your GPS location. Who you doing this with? And you were kind of worried about me, but I wasn't worried to go on this spiritual journey to try and help me. And it's funny, I did keep in touch with Pat and gave him everything. And I'm like, okay, because I was a little nervous too. I'd never done this shit before. I was in the jungle, in a fucking hut, you know, with some.
You gotta bring some of this shit out here, man, or I'm gonna have to come out to Ontario and try it out.
But anyways, I did this ayahuasca and I kept in touch with Pat, and it helped me. But what's funny is I was scared to do it because I thought it would bring out the demons of my PTSD of this train thing. Now I've done ayahuasca twice, and that hasn't happened yet. So it is. And Pat, with you've done this journey a few times with these drugs. Is it something that you're still going to continue to do? And yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you're right to be careful about who you're doing it with, and the environment has to be right. Like, because you really don't have any control. Once you take it, you're sort of at the mercy of the medicine, and so you really want to be in a safe environment and with people that you trust, and whoever it is, the provider of it, you know, you want to really make sure that you have a good feeling about them, and they know what they're doing and they're experienced, and you know, like anything, you don't just want to jump in and take a bunch of crazy psychedelics and then, you know, deal with the consequences after. So
yeah,
so
it's really important too. It's part of it helps with the whole process, you know, if you're feeling in a safe place going into it, right? If there's any apprehension, it's just not, it's kind of like a waste of time, right? You want to be able to get the full medicinal value out of the experience, right? Like,
yeah.
So what happens when Pat, what happens when you come out of that high? Like, where's your brain at?
You're tired, really. It's just because you don't, it doesn't really allow you to sleep sort of that night, you know, so you go into the next day and then you start to just feel tired. It's not like it's this crazy come down, or you don't even really notice it really so much anymore. You're just able to have a nice sleep in the afternoon.
Yeah, because you delved pretty deep into your soul. And it's evident in that documentary, Pat. And there's some times where you kind of snap to and you're aware, and you were like, you almost wake up or come out of that trance, and you're like,
but you remember it all, right? Is that correct?
Oh yeah.
So you're learning from this shit as you evolve through the process.
Completely.
Hell yeah.
It's a complete out of body experience, and you're guided by the shaman. You're lying there with your eyes closed, and he's sort of cueing you along, you know, to see like, okay, now we're going now to the house that you lived in when you the very first house that you remember living in as a child. Go there, and so you there, right? And then he said, okay, now go into the backyard, go into the, you know, what do you see? What do you know? And then he uses the information that you're giving him to guide your process, right? Yeah. So it's really.
There's Bondo.
That's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Like, send me the BOGO code, bro. I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I think that everybody should try it. It's plant medicine. First of all, I think I'm a big supporter of. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people that are struggling with, you know, the opioid crisis, for God's sake, and
yeah, it's fucking horrible.
What is the good solution to that? Methadone, for fuck's sake? Like, that's not really in line with getting better or getting an upper hand on it at all, ever, right? You're just trading substances. You know, one is legal and one is not. So, you know, something like this is radically changing, you know, the way that we're dealing with this problem, and it's working. You know, it's not for everybody, like everything is, but it could be for you, and it's worth a try. Why not, right? You know, like fucking,
yeah.
You know,
I think
you'll try anything. You know,
yeah.
Like, you know, I went to like 3 different treatment centers. Fucking joke, waste of time, like complete waste of time, and maybe I wasn't in the right mindset, and I don't like, you know, speaking negatively about it, because it does work for some people. Some people latch right onto it, and
you're talking about going into you're talking about the PTSD programs that the system offers you, right?
I'm talking about the addictions treatment centers, but they're all
okay.
They're all, it's sort of like you're going for this for a dual diagnosis, right? You're dealing with this mental health injury, but also now you're crutching your fucking addiction, so you got to get them both done at the same time, right?
May I ask you guys, and this is pretty heavy, do you feel the system, and I mean by the system, the people that you work for, the Army, the Navy, did they fail you ultimately? Do you guys feel that way?
That's a tough question.
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? They're getting better. They're trying to get better. However, it's a bureaucratic fucking process. It's a government organization. So anybody who's dealt with the CRA, okay, for fucking civilians watching this, anytime you deal with any level of government, it is a fucking mind-numbingly, painstakingly long process. So I've worked with Veterans Affairs. I got diagnosed with PTSD after 11 years of denying it, and still deny it, which is a problem. But you know, the Legion rep helped me out, helped me navigate all the bullshit paperwork and crap. And you're assigned a rep that works with you, but you're still dealing with a fucking mind-numbingly long process to get what you need. And like their first instinct is to throw fucking money at you. Well, that's great. That solves some stress problems, but it doesn't solve the root cause problems.
Right.
But I'll tell you this: there's guys on let's use right left on this. Guys over on the right saying the government's failing our fucking troops and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you know, not really, because like if you could rewind, my first deployment was in 1992. And then, if you look at back then, there was nothing, man. Fucking guys were coming back from Croatia and Bosnia, literally coming out of a war zone and going home with nothing in place. It has slowly improved over time as we realize the stressors that is placed on Canadian service persons that we continuously send over and over again to these fucking combat zones. So they're slowly getting better, but it is a government process, and it's fucking, a lot of it's stupid. Like there's guys who are missing legs who literally have to go every year and prove to the government their fucking leg didn't grow back. I'm not fucking kidding.
That's sad.
Do you still have no legs? Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Every year,
you know,
in order to maintain their benefits. It's not like Veterans Affairs Canada wants it that way. And I don't imagine that the VA in the United States is any fucking better, because it's a government organization. You got to prove that you're fucking, like, you're not a fucking lizard where your leg grows back. But there's guys who legitimately had to prove they still had no fucking legs in order to get their benefits every year. That's not bullshit. I'm not making that up. So it's the bureaucratic process, because it's a government fucking organization that drags it, that fucks it all up. It's not there's programs in place. There's a lot of things, but there's a lot of bullshit to navigate. And you got to understand, a lot of these fucking guys that come back, they don't have the internet. There's vets living on the street. You know, they don't have the text.
Doesn't that break your heart? I mean, you two have come through it, and Pat, I want to get your 2 cents on this too, because you've been through programs and they've kind of failed you. And you'd be the first to admit it. Do you feel failed by the system still, or are they still got your back a bit? I mean, and is it bittersweet because maybe you do have guys there that do have your back and want to fight for you, but like Chris said, it's so bureaucratic. Is it drive you nuts or what?
Like, I mean, they do their best, you know, and I mean, I can't really complain, right? Because like I've been taken care of. You know, I'm okay financially. You know, I have the resources for therapy and things. You know, Veterans Affairs is a pretty big organization that you can really pretty much get whatever you're looking for through that with your representative, right? But I don't really participate too much with it. It's just kind of like I don't know. It's just kind of like a sore spot with me. I mean, I do therapy. You know, still. Luckily, I got set up with a great therapist that I have really enjoyed talking to, and so the only communication that I have with VA is to re-up my visits with her, and that's just a phone call. Say, hey, I'm doing well. She's awesome. Can I have like 12 more visits or whatever? And they just pay her, and that's it. But yeah, like it's like the problem. The problem that I have experienced with it is that it's all fucking civilians working there. I have no fucking idea really about like the personal side of, you know, the sacrifice that, you know what I mean? Like when you survive an operational Afghanistan tour, you don't want to be spoken to by some fucking pencil neck douchebag about what you shouldn't be doing with the rest of your life. It's like, whoa, man, you know what I mean? Pump the brakes. You know, and also
I could fucking absolutely relate to that. It's like I very much limit who and how I talk to them, because they're just people. And I'm not shitting on them. I'm just they have these jobs and they have a fucking checklist, and everything has to be put into a formula. And you answer a bunch of fucking questions and shit, and they spit out an answer. It's like, man, it's not fucking on. So to sum up, I'll sum up your question. My answer is, it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. It's definitely not as good as it could be. And it's a fucking ton of bureaucracy that is maybe not run by people qualified or who have the empathy, as Pat's alluding to know how to deal with people who've fucking been in have had these experiences. So I'll kind of leave it there.
Yeah. Pat, do you want to add anything to that?
Just my experience with it has been there's just a total lack of compassion and lack of understanding, and it's like they're sitting there at the VA office. First of all, they greet you from behind bulletproof glass and a big fucking huge locked door. It's like a vault they're in. And you're like,
I mean, you're
obviously
the fucking enemy.
What?
Like you're the enemy. That's how you feel, right?
You walk in there and you're like, what is that necessary for? But obviously it was necessary once for them to do it. So, and having a couple bad experiences there, I get it, right? Because I'm like, I was ready to dive through that little hole and fucking choke the guy. But like that's the biggest, I think, problem is that it's just a bunch of civilians that really have no understanding or no compassion for the sacrifice that's required of the individual and the family, and the sensitivity of that. It's just, you don't get it where you should be getting it at a place like Veterans Affairs, where you're going like for help, and you have a bunch of people there that have no idea about anything that has to do with the military. They only are workers for the benefits of the soldiers. So it's like a weird sort of a thing. It's necessary. You have to put up with it because, for your future and stuff like that. But you're kind of like, they don't make it easy, and they don't make it really a comfortable experience from my perspective.
They don't fucking make it easy. And I remember a previous ombudsman, which is usually a retired military guy that's supposed to stand up for us. And I think it was, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, it was Rick Hillier, that said the soldier gets the benefit of the doubt. So I was denied for tinnitus. Fuck, I'm not going to go down that path. But at the end of the day, to echo Pat's comments, I'll fucking tell you right now, if there was a guy who'd been over there and did what we did, and like a million fucking other people have done, you wouldn't be getting denied for these fucking claims because you didn't check one box the right way that added up to their fucking formula. So that's where I get pissed off, is because you're being your disability claim or whatever it is. And this isn't always about money. Sometimes it's about treatment and covering my meds, covering my fucking whatever shit that you should be entitled to, being taken care of for what you did. Some civvy who doesn't give a fuck, who's never been there, is just got a form and they're just going through a checkbox, and it equals A or B, and A is yes, we agree with you, or B, fuck you. Like, fuck, man, it's not that black and white. So anyway, I don't want to get mad here. Let's move on.
Chris, Pat, sorry, Pat, go ahead. My mic was muted. I forgot there's a rookie mistake. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you guys before I let you go. We've been at this for a bit, and I can't thank you guys enough for your time. But you guys were deployed there together in 2009. 2021, Canadian government, U.S. government pulls out. Pat, I know when this happened, you were supposed to come on my show and talk about it. And with all respect, you couldn't do it because it was too close to home. You were pissed off. Your social media posts, you spoke from the heart. You really laid it out there, Chris. I'm not sure we were kind of. I think I was just getting to know you then. I gotta ask you, is this straight up? Are you fucking pissed still? How much did that hurt? Do you feel like you wasted your time? Are you angry? Where are we at?
Who do you want to start with?
Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't lose sleep over it anymore, but initially it was a hard pill to swallow because it cost me my career, like my life as I know it, everything that I had worked for to get to that point, I lost because of this injury that was in my mind, and then to just up and leave and pull out of there and have it get turned back over to the Taliban, like so it would have been worse off than when it was before we got there. Just kind of like, oh man, like my whole career, my whole life was changed for that. And never mind that, the guys that died and the families of the guys that were killed over there, like how are they making any sense of this? It's hard to even comprehend, but so like I said, like I don't sit up in bed and fucking stewing over it anymore. It just is what
Right,
it is,
bro.
right? And you know, knowing now, even knowing what I know now, and if I could go back there and talk to the Patty who was doing his pre-deployment training, I would not tell him anything differently. I would say, go do it. It's there's no even knowing that it cost me my career and my sanity and my marriage, and you know, it's so much, almost my life. You know, really, like, I was dark for a while. It was really dark, you know, but
I know, bro.
I would still do it. I would still do it all over again. I wouldn't change a thing, you know. Like I possessed a very specific skill to go over there and help out a situation that needed help, you know. And the local nationals were dying like crazy, you know. Other NATO soldiers were getting killed by these devices, and you know, I didn't do the training to not go and put up my hand when it was required. You know what I mean? And so like I have no regrets whatsoever. I would do it all again the same way.
Good for you, man. Chris, how do you feel about that and what happened? And do you feel that your time was wasted and everything you fucking went through and the friends you lost? Like, are you pissed or do you get it or where are we at?
I'm going to speak slowly.
Good.
First of all, my initial gut reaction was obviously I was fucking gutted, like just empty. However, I can tell you about three things here, three salient points you can take away. First of all, what happened was absolutely inevitable. The entire approach to that campaign always led to this. Now, people are like, well, how the fuck did the Taliban take over so quickly? Okay, understand that our rules of engagement in the area of operations was restricted to Afghanistan proper. When the bad guys were not winning and they needed to what we call reconstitute, resupply themselves, retrain themselves, which normally was over the wintertime, they just hop over the border to Pakistan where we couldn't go. Understand? We can't go there, but they can go into Pakistan, recruit new guys, and then and reconstitute their efforts to come back for what was called the fighting season. If that's your fucking formula where you can't physically chase the enemy, because understand how we as Westerners see the border of Afghanistan is irrelevant to a tribal society. Tribal societies, which they are, subtend borders that were designed by the British back in the day, don't mean nothing. So there was nothing ever led to any other end in Afghanistan except the way it went down. However, let me put a better spin on it. People, next point. Well, why did the Afghan National Army fail? The Afghan National Army failed partly because they're cowards, led by a president who was a fucking coward who should have stayed there and died because they all bailed. Why is that? They were trained with Western methodology. All right. Same way as Canada trains. Canada lacks the air power to go into a major conflict. It relies on allied air power. It relies on joint intelligence from other countries. So the training that we gave them was Western training that was based on support from U.S. intelligence and U.S. air power. If you pull all of that out, you cripple their ability to effectively fight alone in a guerrilla style warfare, which is how they should have been trained. So the way we train them, we fucked it all up. My last point, and this is for Pat, so I hope you feel better. The best we can hope for is that we were over there for 20 years, from when the Taliban was toppled till the last U.S. soldier left and the Taliban took over again. 20 years is a fucking full generation of people who enjoyed freedom. The freedoms that you know, women's ability to go to school, to be educated, to get jobs, young kids growing up, a full generation of people. And generation is defined from when you're born to when your ability to procreate. So about 20 years. So I fucking challenge that generation that's there now to decide their own future.
All right. That's a good point.
That is the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say. Like you can't live in the past and call it a failed mission, which it is. but you did buy them some time to make their own decisions. That's the way I look at it. So I'll leave it there.
It wasn't for nothing.
Yeah,
think so.
boys, I hope you, and I hate the fact that you used the term failed mission, because ultimately, Chris and Pat, I don't think it was. And I want you guys to know and live with that it wasn't. You guys were there for a reason at the time. And we lived in the present. We live in the present. We don't know the future. We don't have a fucking crystal ball.
Well, that's a good point, because as far as mission goes, me and Pat achieved our mission. We went out and took out fucking bombs with our respective teams, kept our guys came home with
fucking well, Chris.
10 fingers, 10 toes, got my fucking team home. His team got home. During our deployment, we lost 12 Canadians in total, which sucks, and 1 civilian reporter. 7 of those people are in my fucking AO. It sucked, but you do your best, you go do your job, and you get your ass home to your family. That's success to me. I'm talking about the collective. So that's what I mean by that.
Every device that I dismantled didn't kill somebody, so that's a success for sure. And it's in and of itself.
Exactly. Think of the amount of people whose lives you saved, Pat, because I can fucking tell you it's hundreds from how we trained them before we went over there. How many guys came up to me in the bar after that tour thanking me for all the training and shit we did with them in Suffield and Wainwright?
Yeah.
Like that there's no measure, there's no fucking measurement for that. And then taking out those bombs over there, how many fucking lives did you save? That's how you got to go to bed every night, man.
Like you said, Chris and Pat, they were always watching, always. So the fact that you guys found one bomb, well, they knew you found that bomb. They were watching you. And Pat, you've told this on the show before. They knew they watched you scramble it, and you were like literally just waiting to fucking die almost. And you kind of did, Pat. You told in a story, and I know I got to let you guys go, but Pat, you dismantled a bomb, and the red light went off. And you were in that suit, and you thought you died. And if I remember correct, you said your body was up above you. You were looking down on you in the suit, dead. But you weren't, bro. That's fuck.
Right?
Well, seeing that the light change, the indicator, that meant that it was functioning. The circuit was completed, right? And so the circuit then the power would have gone through the circuit to the detonator. The detonator would have, gone on. So in my mind, seeing that was like, why am I seeing that? I could be dead right now. Like that's, so that was there was enough juice to get to the light, but not to the detonator. Like fuck.
Hallelujah, bro.
And that was just straight.
Hallelujah.
Battery had been sitting there for that long. Or it was a shitty old battery. But it wasn't my time, apparently.
Boys, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart and everybody watching, I can't thank you enough for how amazing, not only for your service, but your open and honest and candidness tonight has been off the charts. It really has. You guys are special human beings. I am thrilled to not only have you on my show tonight, I'm thrilled to bring you both back together because...
And I appreciate that. Been too long, bro.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Special, eh, boys? What a small world. This idiot sold his house, went out on the road and does this show, and I come across Army Chris, who's one of the most special dudes I've ever met besides you, Pat, and turns out you guys are in the same platoon on different teams, mind you, but doing the same job, the same thing, and fighting the same war, and man... I brought you guys back together. It's been a real special treat for me, and I hope it was for you guys as well.
Super cool, man. Anytime.
Patty, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Pat, we'll be in touch, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Please, guys. I know you guys will. So I'll start with you, Patty. I love you more than anything. You know this, bro. We've been through the most utmost shit. We haven't even delved into the other shit. So, bro, you're... forever we're brothers and we have the same blood. I can't thank you enough. Can people buy and find your art still? Are you selling that stuff that you got going on or what for Christmas?
I don't really have like a website yet. I kind of hit the brakes on it. I haven't really been doing much art lately, but yeah, just reach out to me through whatever one of the social medias. I have pictures posted of most of the stuff that I made, but yeah, I don't really, I don't really anyway. Like I haven't really sold much. I did one art show, and I ended up just giving everything away because I couldn't charge people. It just felt weird. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't
do,
know.
but that artwork has really kind of helped you a lot, and I'm glad you found something that can calm your brain and keep you busy. And you've got two wonderful, adorable dogs too. I mean,
Yeah.
look at those champions.
Look
right
at
there.
those.
Hey,
Is that
bro.
a boxer?
Oh,
You know, they have bulldog and a pity.
Okay, fuck, he looks like a brindle boxer. Beautiful
Yeah,
dog, man.
old bulldog. That's Rooster and Rocco.
amazing, amazing. Listen, Chris, Pat, you guys are the salt of the earth. Chris, it's been such a pleasure to connect with you as a pal. And listen, the fact that you fucking did a tour with Patty, we're now all the same. Not that I've been there with you guys, but I mean as friends. I love Patty, and Patty loves me, and now I love you, bro. We're the same that way. You guys have been the best, man. I can't thank you enough for your time tonight. It's been unreal.
Thank you. We'll have to do it again.
All right, Bono.
I can't wait. Peace and love, guys. You guys are the best.
Bro.
Take care.
Later. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Find Army Chris. That's Patty Moulden. Go check his art. That's Army Chris. Chris, they can find you on the Dean Blundell Network. You got your own podcast now called Fire for Effect. How's that going? Are you loving it or what?
It's going good. It's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but I'm doing one recorded show a month and 2 or 3 of these live streams once I get my restream issues worked out.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and you asked me last night to come on your show coming up soon. You're gonna have a Q&A, so I'm looking forward to being part of that. I really appreciate you asking me to be a part of that. Dude, I can't thank you enough for your time. It's been a pleasure. It's a small world. It really is out there.
It is. Thanks, man.
That was pretty special, Chris. And listen, what you've done, what you do, your pals with Lachlan, that's got to be a job in itself.
It is a lot of work.
You're the best, pal. I love you so much. And thanks for your time tonight.
All right, bro. Thanks a lot. We'll chat later.
You bet. Take care, buddy. Wow. I am not like them. I'm not. Patty went to join the Navy at 18 out of high school. I live with Pat. I remember we lived in I left. It's a true story. I'll tell this real quick before I go. I've never told this before. One of the most hardest things I ever did in my life is tell my mom and dad that I was leaving and moving out at 18 years old. Me and my mom, I love her, but we weren't getting along so much. And I had this nice girlfriend, and Patty was living on his own, and there was a room available in the house right below him, and we were going to share a kitchen and a bathroom, and we played football together. We worked out together every day, and it just made sense. And I did it, and I will never regret that decision. I know it broke me mom's heart. Sorry, Mom. But I'll never forget the time that I lived with Pat, and I'll never forget the time Pat left high school, left all of us, and went and joined the Navy and never looked back. Never looked back. Fuck, I remember talking to him on a sat phone when he was in Afghanistan. He said he didn't reach out much, but we never lost touch, and I'll never forget, I think 2 times, if memory serves me correct, I spoke to Pat on a sat phone from Afghanistan. I was in Ontario, and when that phone rang and it said, that weird number, but I knew it was Patty, answered that phone quick, and the conversations were unreal. You just had to keep your bro on the straight and narrow, tell him he's doing the greatest job ever, and I couldn't imagine being over there in my mid to late 20s as a soldier. It's not him. It's funny. Should be in my DNA. Both my grandfathers were soldiers. My mom's dad was a POW in Germany 2 years. He was the toughest motherfucker you'll ever meet. My dad's dad was a tough mofo too. Me, big old pussy whining about my foot. Folks, all jokes aside, I can't thank Pat Moulden enough. Childhood buddy. He's been through so much. He's my best friend in the entire world. He really is. Proud to say that. Known him since 4 years old. We've been through shit together. I highly recommend you go watch The Psychedelic Frontier on YouTube. Just Google it. You can even put in Pat Moulden or The Psychedelic Frontier. It'll come up. So 1 million views. It's one of the most heavy, craziest things you'll ever watch in your life. I swear to Christ. It really is. I love the guy to death, man. I really do. And I worry about him every single day. But he soldiers on. He really does. And he never gives up. Army Chris, just met the guy. Never even met him. I never met him face to face yet. But goddamn, the day I do, we're getting the biggest goddamn hugs he's ever getting because motherfucker's won. He's part of my brotherhood with Pat, and that makes us family. And I'm going to see him soon, and I'm pumped. You guys, that's it. That's it for Bondzee Live. What a show. Holy. Hour and 30 minutes. I knew it was going to be a good one, and I'm not disappointed. I hope you're not either. Again, I can't thank Patty Moulden and Army Chris enough for their time tonight, their honesty, their openness. They've been through more than you and me ever have or could ever even imagine. I had so many more questions. I really did. We'll have them back. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's Bondzee Live and Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. It's brought to you by Positive Mike's Brewing. You can find them in Edmonton, Alberta. Go check them out on YouTube. Buy the merch because it's real cool stuff. And they'll donate some money to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Movember. There you go. Go grab one of those T-shirts. They're almost sold out. They got 4 left. Be one of the 4. Say, dude, I was one of the 4. Tell them Bondzee sent you. You get maybe even another discount. Who knows? If they're feeling nice. Wow, I'm tired after that one. That was a good one. I love you guys. I love it, Dean Blundell. I can't thank him enough for allowing me to put this program on his network. I love you guys for loving my show. Peace and love. You have a great night. It's Bondzee Live and Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. I'll see you Wednesday when we got William Barron IV, ayahuasca expert and entrepreneur extraordinaire. I'm going to the hospital. Got to get my foot checked out. I'll see you Wednesday. Ciao.